Welcome to Wilson's channel.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another segment, Chat with Wilson. I am your host, Wilson Chang. Shoutouts to everybody that's here live on Twitch right now. This will also be on my YouTube page. You guys could check that out. Basically the same thing as my name, Wilson Chang, if you type that up. This is episode 2. We do have that podcast command. Thank you so much, Phantom. Chatters, live chatters, you guys will be able to see your messages here. All the viewers will see it, so you guys can say hello and everything. Thank you guys. Please do be respectful and everything. Alerts will be offline. We're going to be talking about a recap of what I've been up to this past week with work, events, and then we're going to move on to the main topic, which is about friendships. A lot of things to talk about when it comes to friendships, and I'm sure there might be questions here and there. But this will be another solo episode. Just got to get more comfortable with doing this, and especially because I rebranded. It used to be the Chang Gang podcast where I interviewed my guests, a lot of friends, had almost 80 episodes, but I realized that I didn't like the format and how I was running it, so I was looking for a lot of specific change. But I covered that in the very first episode, which is technically episode 0. You guys could check that out either in the VODs or on YouTube. But here we are. Episode 2. Let's go. Alright, let's recap what went down last week. So, I think the last time I hosted a podcast, episode 1, was 10 days ago. So that was back on January 11th. Now we're on... It's January 21st, 22nd for some of you guys, especially in Central or the East. Oh god, JB. Oh, I don't think Chill's streaming, by the way, but hello, welcome in. Hope all is well, buddy. Yeah, quick recap. So, I had Sabai last week. I know I talked to some of you guys about it on stream, so I'll just like breeze through it. Sabai was at Pier. It was an EDM club. So if you guys ever hear me reference Pier, it is called Pier Lounge, and it's in Sunnyvale. So it's an EDM club. Well, technically I go for the EDM shows. They have like variety too, but it's like a nice comfort place at this point because a lot, like, the tickets are pretty cheap. People there have been really cool for the most part, and we always got like a little group going on, so it's very nice. So bye. Fire. Seen him probably like 3 times now, where he had his tour with Huang back in earlier this year, I believe, or no, last year. And then I saw him at Countdown, so that was very recent, and then to be able to see him again so soon. Fire set as always. A lot of great music that I really like. I love the melodic feelsies and stuff. Did you see he fired his CO2 guy? What? Or he's looking for a new one? Because CO2 was a personality hire? I actually have no idea what you're referring to. What is a CO2 guy? Oh! Oh, no! I had no idea. I don't follow, like, I don't keep up with them like that. Oh man, you're talking about Pier specifically? Well, shit. I had no idea that happened. Anyways, Pier was fun. Sabai threw down. That was one of my favorite events I've been to at Pier. It was super crowded, a lot of cool people. Tables were pretty much filled up. Saw so many different friends. So it was like a combination of like meeting new people, vibing with the group that I went with, being able to see mutuals there, and then to just enjoy the music. So everything put together was like, it made it so great. Plus, like, I started making friends with people that work there, so I think that's always a plus. At this point, it's like me and my friends are somewhat regulars. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Dang, I had no idea though that happened. The fog stuff, the timing, ouchies. It was still fun though. And yeah, I know Sabai was down in SoCal, so I hope you guys had fun with Sabai this weekend. Really cool guy. And you saw Jessica's there. I know that she goes to events too, so that was pretty cool that you guys met up. You guys take pictures? Yeah, no complaints whatsoever. I'll just skip and fast forward because now I'm gonna look forward to seeing Chang at Pier next weekend. So that's the next event. But let's talk about what went down this past weekend. Wobbleland. Wobbleland is a festival, EDM festival that was hosted in San Francisco this past weekend at Bill Graham. That's considered the church, the rave church for those who know the, I guess, I don't know if it's an inside joke or just like an inside saying, but then BTSM also calls it church, or they're like their viewers and stuff, so that's quite interesting. Having a festival at Bill Graham is interesting. I've experienced it at Breakaway Festival, which is another event. Just having two separate stages, the main stage and like a tiny stage on the side where there's like a bar and everything. It kind of reminds me of like a small club, that vibe. But this festival was purely more heavy on the bass and an emphasis on rhythm. Like that's the subgenre. So definitely want to address that before I get into the nitty gritty details. And I'm glad you got a picture with Sabai. That's what's up. What's next for you, JB? I heard it was fun though and super packed. Yeah, and Huang's gonna be there. That's gonna be so lit. I thought he was gonna special guest. Me too. I thought he would like bring people out, but it was him. Unless I just don't remember. Beyond is, yeah, that is so far away, but you get that rest in between before Beyond. Live it up, JB. Fire lineup, by the way. That's another festival. Okay, so at Wobbleland, I'm just gonna go off of what I can remember. Day one, I went with two friends, and then we met up with a bunch of people. Some highlights were got to meet Alzora in person and with his group. Really cool people. And I got to meet up with Crispy Bacon. He went with his friends, but I didn't get to meet them. And it was like a brief, like, it was a quick hello. Saw a lot of mutual friends there, got quick pictures, always a vibe. And then met up with just more people. I don't want to like say everyone's name, especially if they're not on Twitch like that. So yeah, just having a lot of people to go with was really cool. Got there really early. It was really rainy on both days, and I would say it was like about an hour drive, so SJ to SF, especially with traffic and everything. I keep forgetting that the parking garage has like no service, but we got there early anyway, so just quick with the pre-gaming. Got to walk around. The merch, I'm not really big on merch to begin with, so I didn't buy anything. It was just like a simple reminder of how expensive it is at Wobbleland, or like just merch in general, like EDM rave stuff. Yeah, not Wobblehead, but you're close. Wobbleland. I know you missed it, and it's okay. Dude, JV, you should go to Trilogy, man. Trilogy, Millennium's it. That's the move. Yeah, so we got there early, and I must say, day one was so heavy with rhythm. Rhythm is cool for a bit, but it just gets a little too repetitive for me, and because of my personal preference, I'm more into like melodic and dubstep, or like the mix of both. Like I like lyrics, I like singing and vibing, but I just like the the different styles of drops that comes with dubstep. There's just a lot. So day one, I'm trying to remember. I'm probably gonna go backwards. I do have the lineup. Adventure Club was my favorite set because Adventure Club definitely OG, and they played a lot of throwbacks. So many throwbacks, and it was so good. And then by the end of the night, I was just really exhausted from what I remember. So Sudden Death, going crazy with the rhythm and just like the intense bass was too much for me. It was the first time at a Bill Graham event that I've ever decided to just go upstairs to sit during like midway through the set. Because like I've been venturing and like walking around, and I've been like, I just got tired, so I actually wanted to sit. And then I actually also left 10 minutes early just to get back to the car before everyone like got out. From what I heard from people on TikTok is that apparently Sudden Death played the same song like 4 times and announced it. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like that's such a random thing to do, and there would be no reason to do that. But yeah, it was just very repetitive. There was certain points where it was like pretty fun and lit. I know he didn't play Blood on Me, which is probably one of my favorite songs, the one that he has with Slander. I do remember him playing Crusade, which is like a pretty cool one too. Sudden Death went over like 15 minutes. Oh, I did not know that. What the heck? That was you at Nocturnal 22? I had no idea. But I do recall like BTSM like pretty much stopping on the spot. Yeah, so day 1, bunch of rhythm. Talking about music wise, it was all right. I expected day 2 to be way better. I had like just higher expectations overall. But like a quick recap of 1 and 2, like just to share like the similar pros, is that I got to meet so many people. So 1, meeting people has always been amazing, and that's what makes me like enjoy going to events. Even though it's like quick chatter with a lot of people, it's just really cool to be able to connect within those moments. Like even if it's like a quick hello, exchange of contact information, maybe even trading candies and stuff. Yeah, those are really cool, because then you tend to like see people again and again over time if they go like as often as I do. And then just meeting up with the homies, taking pictures, that's always fun. Vibing with whoever's around. And then the music. If the music is good and your group is good, chances are it's great. And then it's just like added bonus points whenever people go, or like people around you are cool. So day 1 was all right overall. Day 2, again, I would say was way better. So much better because that lineup was so much more stacked. No hate for like Emorphic or Hesh, but I wasn't like as into them, like their sets, compared to Jessica Audrifid leading into the back-to-back Crank That and Company, and then Kaiwachi, and then BTSM. I think those 4 in a row back-to-back was like incredible. So Jessica Audrifid, that was my 3rd time seeing her. She's like known as like the Queen of Bass. That was so fun. So that was litty. The back-to-back was pretty hype, as expected, because I got to see Crank That with the back-to-back with Ray Volp at Countdown, and that was super fun as well. So they definitely played a lot of like hype songs, and I mentioned this on my TikTok. It was like very crowd pleasing, like the type of drops that they added together. So after that set, Kaiwachi, lot of cry bangers. Love me some cry bangers. So I had so much fun. To close it off with Hollow was amazing. We all expected Hollow to be the last one, especially when we didn't hear it throughout the set. And then I like listening to Run, Flatline, Better Off Alone. Those are like 4 of my favorite songs. Kaiwachi didn't play his newest song with Run though. Or no, Trella, with Trella. Maybe in due time. Maybe on his tour. And then to end it off with BTSM, that was my 6th time seeing BTSM within like 4 to 5 months. No, actually I lied. Never mind. They were here in July. That was my first time seeing them, July 23. So about like half a year. So good, as always. So hyped just hearing like cheat codes, Mind State, like even Skull Machine. The fact that they brought out Kaiwachi to do like a little bit of a back-to-back made it super hype. And then it did get weird though, because they started playing bass house and some techno. It just kind of felt like the energy went down and it dragged out just a little bit before they transitioned into having Kaiwachi join them. And then at the end, they gave us a snippet of the new anime animation show that they have, which features, you know, BTSM's format with Attack on Titan. So that little like collaboration. So that was really cool. Got like season 1 flashbacks from AOT. I'm sure a lot of people have watched that by now, so you could probably get the gist of like what went down in the first episode. It was kind of like that. It wasn't as crowded in the back as I thought it would be, because there's certain shows at Bill Graham which I feel like are shitty because of how many people there are, and it feels like sardines. Whenever it feels like sardines at Bill Graham, it's not fun. It's like way too hot and you just can't move, and when you can't move, it kind of kills the experience, at least for me. Yeah, you didn't see the AOT thing, bro. You missed out. But it's okay. They're gonna debut that basically this year. Yeah, AOT. I know they have Naruto. Have you seen that anime show? They recently released like what, JJK stuff, so that might be part of the new stuff with AOT. Yeah. And what else to note? I mean, I don't want to get into the details of like the different people I met, but they were all just like great for the most part. And then, oh, there was like funny instances. Okay, not funny, but it was funny to me. I'm just gonna briefly go over this, that it's cool when you meet people, and then when my friends meet people, they tend to introduce me to like the people they meet. I find that to be awesome, by the way. But then sometimes you kind of lose track of who's like in the group when you kind of merge together and you're just in the same area. So by the end of the night, I don't know if you guys do this, but with me and my friends, we usually recap what goes down in the night, and we like talk about like everything, the set, the different type of people, what we did, because everyone has like their own different like styles when it comes to, or like things that they like to do at events, right? So recapping it, apparently my friends were like noticed that there was like really creepy people around, and I mean there's like a lot of different definitions to like what you consider as a creep, but let's just say that these people were creeps, and they said that there was 2 of them hovering the group. So it was funny to me because afterwards I was trying to recollect my memory to see who they were talking about, and I was like, what, there was 2? I was like, the first one that they mentioned, I was like, I remember seeing that guy right next to us. And I was like, oh shit, he wasn't in our group? I thought he was friends with those people. And then they're like telling me no. And yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. But the second guy, it's so funny because earlier in the night, this random dude showed up in front of me and he looked so gone. He was out of it. He was like giving me such a weird stare, and I had no idea why he was just like standing there in front of me, like face towards like me and our group, right? But then someone in our group like pulled him in closer to us, so I assumed that they were friends, right? This is like new people that I just met too, so I thought they were like all like in the same group or something, and I just haven't seen this guy all night. So I was like, do you need a fan or something? And then I just started fanning him a bit. You could tell he was so gone because of his eyes. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna chill, just wait. It was like right before BTSM too. And then fast forward when we were like talking about our car, like talking in the car ride about everything, my friends were talking about this second weirdo, and I had no idea who they were talking about. But then like after that conversation down the line, I brought it up. I was just like, hey, so who is that guy that was right in front of me right before BTSM? Like, he came out of nowhere, and I don't remember what happened to him. Like, where'd he go? And then they were both like, my friends were just like, dude, that's the weirdo that we were talking about. And I'm like, what the fuck? You guys let me talk to the weirdo? And I was like trying to offer fanning services and everything to him. I thought he was like your homies and stuff. And then they're like, nah, like, that ain't it. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, whatever. At least I didn't like engage anymore. So yeah. And then they're like, okay, I'll give you a little bit more details of why he's the weirdo. Because they said he was behind. He was behind our group. And we kind of merged groups with like other friends. And there was like girls, right? So apparently he was like hovering the girls from behind. And he was like following them and everything. Even when they left. And then my friend like asked them, they're like, do you know this guy? And then they're like, no. So it was very strange. And then he happened to come back and he was in front of me later on, but I've never seen him. So I was like tripping out. Like after hearing the like what happened. So yeah. Yo, Crystal, Katie, welcome to the stream. I'm not a grandpa. What the heck? Thank you. I appreciate it. Hope all is well. Welcome to the Chat with Wilson podcast segment, where we are just recapping what happened this weekend, and then we're just going to talk a little bit about friendships before I go to bed. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Yeah, so there's some weird people, but again, I don't want people to think that it's always like that. I mean, like, sure, maybe it's because they're pretty gone for whatever they took, but for the most part, there are great people at events. Like, so many people that I could easily vibe with. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to just meet cool people. And to like just wrap things up with Wobbleland, I would say it was worth going, especially with the price and for that lineup. Again, day 2 was just so good. A cool thing to note is that I know a lot of you guys are aware that I randomly make TikTok videos. Okay, maybe some of you guys, not all of you guys. And it's fine if you don't watch it. I'm just like stating that I make TikTok videos on my Twitch account and on my personal account. My personal account has been a lot about raving lately just because I'm comfortable talking about it. But it's pretty cool because I've met some people over like the last few months that would just be like I would meet them and then they would recognize me from TikTok. Like, by no means, like, I'm not famous or anything, but they've seen my face before on TikTok, and that would be a conversation to, like, talk about, or, like, conversation starter. So, there was, like, a few times these past few weeks, including at Wobbleland, where I would just introduce myself, and they're like, you're on TikTok. And I would be like, oh, shit. What the heck? Like, I don't want to ask them what videos they've seen or anything, but it's just pretty cool, because they turned out to be, like, really, really nice people. And then we would just like chat it up or exchange information. But yeah, that was a little recap of Wobbleland. More positives than negatives, of course. And day 2, I was very tired, but not as tired as day 1. And it's because of like the vibes and the energy. It was like just way better at day 2. So I felt like I had a second wind. My legs are a little bit sore, but I feel like I'm just really used to like going hard at these events like every weekend. So I've adjusted and I'm happy about that. I think it's more difficult when it's outdoor events because of the weather and everything. But I'm a trooper. I survived and I'm ready. Ready for the next one. It's just great to have something to look forward to. Especially during the long work weekends. Or week. Yeah, let's move on. So that was a quick recap. The main topic of this podcast is going to be about friendships. There's a lot that I could cover, and I could be very detailed about this. Feel free to chime in whenever, if you guys could like relate or have like any thoughts you want to share, referring to the chat here. So you guys, all the chatter you see here will be also like visible on YouTube and everything. Yeah, that was a quick recap. Podcasting time. You guys are my friends, right? Let's start with that. Or at least I'd like to think so. Yes, okay, perfect. Whew. Just got some confirmation. There's a lot of I don't know exactly how I want to like navigate when it comes to this topic, but I'll just go off of like my outline. Sakura, welcome to the stream. Hope all is well. Hello, hello. Just in time for the start of the podcast segment. Conditional. Ouch. Okay. No worries. I'm not taking that to heart. Jokes. You know, banter is good in friendships. Alright, so for friendships, right? I'm gonna talk about what's important to me first. And I feel like there's a lot that could be added, and there's a lot that you guys might share, like values. But a few that I jotted down just like on the spot was like, for friendship, you have to get to like a certain level of comfort. And then I'll expand on that because I feel like there's different type of friends. There needs to be trust. I value social awareness, so like social cues. I really appreciate when friends are selfless and are very caring. Responsibility, like responsible people is like, we're talking about green flags for friendships, right? Just like any relationships, communication is very important too. And just having that emotional intelligence or just being able to hold conversations is like, those are special traits to me. Yo, Long, it's been so long, man. Hope all is well with you. Oh god, not the Gojo reference. Another one. And then another one is like just having that good reciprocated energy is nice. It's nice. So just a little bit of everything added together. There's like a lot of different levels of friendships, which I'll talk about now. For me, it's hard to distinguish. Splitting it into categories or like some sort of hierarchy is kind of weird to like think of that. But just to have an understanding where like we're on the same page. So over time, I've realized that I do have a lot of different friends, right? I'm sure everyone does. And what I mean by that is like the level of friendship. So as I've been going to like a lot of events or even having an online presence on Twitch, there's a lot of like one and done type of ordeals. And it's very odd to title it as that or label it as that, or I'll break it down for you guys so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So let me just explain all of them or list them out. There's the one and dones, there's acquaintances, and then there's those friends that I would say are like, it's always friendly. Again, I'll expand on that. Then there's close friends, and then there's like your best friends or the ride or dies. So let me start with the first one. And sleeping, good job. You got the ticket. Welcome to the stream, broskies. He's describing me. The one and dones type of friends is like those people you meet and like you connect with pretty well, but then you don't ever hear from them again, or you just don't come across like each other's paths again. And I find that happens a lot of times, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it's really not. You just don't know each other too well, but that's real. And you could kind of say it's an acquaintance, but I feel like acquaintance is a level above that too. And Spump, thank you so much for the follows. Appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. Koma, thank you for lurkies. Hope all is well with you. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of those one and dones. A good example is like, okay, maybe it doesn't align with like what's considered a friend, but you kind of connect with them for like one conversation. Let's do that. Let's just say that. And then that's it. You guys just never talk again. Or maybe you would, but like later down the line and you just don't know when. Yes, the new hair color. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Koma. Do what you gotta do. Yo, Jericho, Nat, and Quiz are all here too. What's up, guys? Hello, hello, friends. Thank you for checking in. We're just talking about friendships right now for the main topic of this episode. Ghost type Wilson. Dude, that's true. I remember you were like giving me types. Ah. Okay, and then you guys probably have a good idea of what acquaintances are. Like, you guys aren't really close. You know of each other. You probably have had like a few conversations, but you just don't feel like you're at that level of friendship where there's like some sort of level of comfort. Yeah, for whatever reason. And then just moving on, there's friends. Like, friends you are always friendly with. You might not be close to them, but you could always have like a conversation. You could always catch up here and there. They're like, it's like good people, good energy all around. So yeah, there's that, like good friends. And then, or just like always friendly. And then the higher tier would be close friends. So close friends are maybe those you are able to hang out with every so often, or you just feel like you could confide in them, talk about more closer, like that level of comfort has to be there. To like even hang out, for example. Maybe you don't feel as comfortable as one person versus the other. So maybe because you don't consider them close. It could be whatever reason. It's always like depending on the person that you are. But for me, this is how I'm categorizing it. So there's those close friends. And then I would lean towards the ride or dies or the BFFs are like at the highest tier. Let's say tier. Tomito, thank you so much for the follows. Welcome in. Hope all is well with you as well. Thank you for the shoutouts, guys. Hola. We're just talking, chatting it up on the pod right now, a live stream pod, which will also be on YouTube, so you guys can say hello. Yeah, so the ride or dies are the ones you could probably trust with like all your secrets, things like that. Those who probably know you very well, vice versa. Just talking about the different groups of friends you might have. And moving on from that, we talked about the importance or like what I value specifically. And it just goes to show like when you feel more comfortable with people, there's just like, you just have different type of relationships. For me at this age and at this time, I feel like I have a good sense of like who I could potentially be close with, or either that, or sometimes it feels like it's not the right time to get close, if that makes sense. And I have a good example about that. Yo, Ali. Hi, Ali. Thank you for checking in. Hello, hello. What's happening? Like, for example, let me use RJ for an example. To me, I consider RJ close. I feel very comfortable with him. I could hang out with him. I could call him like a bro and everything. And we could just chat it up whenever. I feel comfortable enough to call RJ whenever. But when we first met, we weren't close. We knew of each other, and it took like a lot of months down the line to become close. So I feel like that is what I mean by like, they might be people, he might be a person you could connect with, but just way down the line. And I found that like occurrence, or that has happened so many times with different people, especially on Twitch. Like, I would follow someone on Twitch, vice versa, and then we probably won't talk until like months later. And then we realize that, wow, we have so many common interests, or we just connect very well. And I would say that it's the same for like all of you guys too. You just have to build those friendships over time. Like at one point we weren't as close, like to Ali, GM, you know, everyone else. Like it just, our friendship just gradually increases. Or we just get closer over time. Some maybe closer than others, but you know, you don't really have to, it's not a competition or anything. It's just how it is when you connect with people. And for me, I talked about Twitch before. But for Twitch, I'm mainly here to connect with friends more so as to have viewers or an audience. Like, I'm more invested in people. So that's why I felt like this was an important topic. But yeah, whenever I meet people, I have a good sense of if I could be close with them or if I could see them like in my future for whatever reason. It could be streaming, gaming, raving, just someone to like connect with outside. And of course, RJ, I got you. And let's talk about how do I make friends? You guys probably have a good idea because you could just think about how I met you guys. Quiz, yo, thank you for the 3 stream streak. We see those streaks popping up again. I see. I don't know what you guys think. You guys can chime in. I personally feel like I'm an introverted extrovert. Maybe you guys would say I'm an extrovert. Maybe you guys would even think that I'm an introvert. But I feel like there's just different moments where I feel like I could easily connect with people or just like talk to people. But more so, I feel like I could reciprocate energy well, especially when it's like one-on-one conversations more so than in a group setting. Like just matching energies. And for me, I'm personally better like communicating in person. So yeah, introverted extrovert. RJ, thank you for the 3 stream streak as well. Everyone's different, but I'm just explaining myself. And yeah, feel free to ask questions, guys. Go for it, Quiz. For me, yeah, there's just moments where I think it's like your social battery you have to consider. Sometimes you might feel like you don't have the energy to potentially talk to someone. More examples, like I like using real life examples. It's like when I go to events, when you go to like raves and everything, I feel like you need like a lot of energy, especially to like survive or go through the entire night, right? So this festival, for example, we were there from like what 6:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. I feel like within the first hours, it's very easy for me to be willing to put myself out there and to connect with people. But then if it like gets down to the very end of it, like you're just drained. And that might be the case for a lot of people. It probably depends on like the groups that you are introduced to or how you bump into these people. Even online too. I feel like within the last few years, I've been doing pretty well when it comes to networking before becoming friends with other fellow streamers or to like connect with people in chats. Because if you're not a streamer like, and you're just a viewer, you have like different ways of like meeting people and becoming close. So I was pretty good at like just balancing like my social life balance on Twitch and IRL. It's definitely changed over time on Twitch versus in person. Just because I'm not on Twitch as often anymore compared to the last few years. And I'm touching lots and lots of grass. And just out and about a lot. So yeah, that's like the different dynamic, and that's why I feel like I'm more of an introverted extrovert. Quiz, your question. When it comes to receiving candies, what would your thoughts be on if someone were to give that candy to someone else? Oh. Okay. Is it considered rude or an insult? It's also a question I've been wondering as well because I don't give, but it's better to know. Okay. So I would say that it depends on the candy and who gives it to you, because realistically, I don't think there's like set rules or anything, right? When it comes to that, people generally do give candy out to like strangers, and it could say whatever. It could be like the most craziest things. Like I've talked about some of the candy I've gotten before, and it has some wild words on it, right? There's also people who specifically make candy for you. So if it's like a close friend or just like a friend who dedicated that candy to you, I tend to keep those. I feel like it is definitely important to like keep those and not give those away. The backstory is my friend got a candy at his first rave and then later on ended up giving that candy to someone else. And that's okay. I don't think that's like a bad thing too. Because, you know, sometimes when you trade candy with people, like they might feel obligated to give you candy back. And it's okay if they don't. But then sometimes they would just pick a random one. I would do that too. I would just pick a random one that I've made. And sometimes if I don't have any more of the candy that I've made, I would use like other people's candy that they've given me, but not the ones that have like sentimental value. So it really depends on the value of the candy. And to be specific, like if someone made candy that has my name on it, they specifically made it for me and I keep those. Or for example, my friend, she gave me a candy last night with a Polaroid picture. So that was really thoughtful and that has sentimental value. So I wouldn't give that away. So yeah, I guess you could have a debate on it, but that's just my gist, or that's my take. So it's not an insult or anything if there's not as much sentimental value. All right. I'm also gonna talk about how, like, where do I make friends nowadays? Back then, I feel like obviously you can make friends through school, right? You can meet people through school. There's work, so you got the school friends, you got the work friends. If you're outgoing, you can meet people just outside wherever you go. For me, it's like either at the clubbing or clubs, the raves. Not much so the gym. I don't think I make a lot of friends at the gym. I feel like there's only one exception. And it's because it's crazy. Like sometimes you meet people at the gym who happen to have like the same hobbies as you. So you meet them outside too. That has happened. And we're just like, oh shit, you go to the same gym. I recognize you and everything. But I personally don't make a lot of conversations at the gym whatsoever. That's pretty hard. And then there's Twitch and online, even TikTok. Social media has been brilliant, absolutely amazing. I've said it before too, that after high school, college, and just like getting into the like work, I've made like a certain number of friends and connections. But after being on Twitch, I've probably like tripled or even quadrupled the number of friends I've had, and I'm so grateful. I've experienced both sides, one being that people find the candy more important and won't trade that was traded to them. What was traded to them. The other being people find that act trading more important, so I think both are okay. Depends who you ask. Yes, right on. People want to work out at the gym. Yeah, sometimes people just want to be dialed in and they want to focus and not make friends. But dude, sometimes you just see the same people and over, and I feel like you're bound to make conversation at one point, even if it's like, how many more sets do you have? Something like that. Who wouldn't want to be friends with Solson? Yeah, at the gym, I'm just like dialed in, and I like my introvertedness is at its peak when I'm at the gym or something. I just can't talk to people. I don't know. But it's all good. It's all good. I have my moments, especially when it's when we're out and about. Yeah, call it what it is. All right. And I'm getting like so many random ads on these videos, so I'm just gonna stop the music. So those are the different settings where I can meet people, and also mutuals. It's so great to meet mutuals. Like being able to be like have conversation of like, oh, how do you know this person? Or like having that it's a small world type of moment is always really cool to me. And there's like an unspoken rule, like candies you guys shouldn't be given on the same day. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I feel like that's true. Like I wouldn't give candy that I just got on that day because I like to go home and just kind of like look at everything I've gotten. So yeah, a slap in the face, but that's kind of my perspective on it. I generally don't trade what's given to me, but I really keep the ones that are unique, personal, special, because there are some randos that just say really simple things. Yeah, the less value ones. Like I even made candy with like very general like sayings or words, just so like that trade value is high, where they could kind of trade it if they want. So for example, like Rave Slave or like Plur or something like that. Hmm. All right, moving on just a little bit. I'm gonna talk about how I am personally when it comes to like a friendship. Again, you have to consider that there's just everyone's different. Everyone has like something that they prioritize more than others, or like values that they prioritize. Different relationships, right? For me, I feel like I definitely like connecting with a lot of people. And like I do try, or I do like getting close to a lot of people because I invest. I feel very invested, like when it comes to people who are willing to like talk to me or reciprocate that energy, like match that energy. I don't like forcing friendships. So when I feel like there's like a hump or an obstacle, like I wouldn't go above and beyond to like push surpass those barriers. And it's kind of hard. It's very different with people because there's certain people you could read better than others, and there's just like different ways to connect. And maybe it's like an overtime thing, but yeah, you could only put in like you put in a certain amount of energy for different type of friendships. For me, I'm like pretty like I appreciate the bare minimum, and I've talked about what I value, and I also feel like I'm low maintenance. So what that means is like if I talk to you, like Jericho for example, when I first met Jericho at a freaking rave, like San Holo, right? Had my first conversation with him, and we connected really well on the spot. At least in my opinion. He might not think the same. He might be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? But I met him. It's a funny story with the soju bottle and everything, and then this guy cut himself and started bleeding. But he was a real one for trying to help us. Like I approached him. I approached him because we couldn't open our goddamn bottle of soju. Like I wasn't drinking it, but my friends were. I asked him to open it because his group was in front of us and he looked like a buff dude. So I was like, all right, this guy's got it in the bag. And then, yeah, that shit was stuck. But he gave us a different bottle. Or I'm supposed to say he did open it. But yeah. So, and then since then, we just connected. But like, even if we didn't meet up, like, after that moment, the fact that we were able to like just chat and be comfortable in that setting is what I really value. Because then from that moment, if we were to see each other again after leaving off at that high note, that would be super cool. Because I would be like, yo, it's been like a long time, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was great vibes from the first time I met you. That's what I mean by like being low maintenance and like a bare minimum. If I connect with you pretty well, even if it's like 5 minutes or so, or even less, like the people that I've met like once in my life, like at raves or events and stuff, if you could keep that energy for the next possible like meeting, that's great. By all means, like we don't have to be best friends or anything. Like anything could happen over time anyways, but if we don't like connect or just like build that friendship from where we left off on that high note, it is okay. I'm cool with it. Yo, Felix, thank you, man. I really appreciate the fact that you dropped by, tuned in, and you're just like hearing everything too. Thank you for the shoutouts, guys. Exposing secrets, yeah. The fire alarm story was crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. But at Wobbleland, the fire alarm went off, but then the DJ took it as like a really cool thing to happen to him for the first time. So he made it into like a positive like aspect. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so I also like supporting my friends. Like I feel like I could only invest so much time and energy for each friendship, but in my mind I still will do the bare minimum. At least as long as they cross my path. And what I mean is like social media, like if you are striving to accomplish something, if you're trying to put out a message such as like all the other streamers and creators what they do, like the bare minimum is to comment, to post, like repost, to share, to help elaborate, things like that. It's such a random example for me to bring up, but that's what it is. Like, it's hard for me to keep up with everyone realistically, but being able to kind of know bits and pieces of what's going on in people's lives based on social media is at least better than nothing. And yeah, that's what I would say like I like to do. But if I could try to connect with people while going to like going on the current path that I'm like at right now, whether if it's like gaming, streaming, being at raves and events, I try to like bring people out and like together because we have like that similar interest. I'm more of like a very open invite type of guy. Unless I specifically know you would want like personal invitations or like a one-on-one type of thing, like I'm very open invite and like initiation. So you guys could probably see it because I would like make announcements for things that I host. Or I would individually like invite people, but it's harder for me to do that because it's like more selective. It's a cult following. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know what it's about, but I'm not denying anything, not confirming or denying. So, like in the past, when I've hosted custom games, that's how it all started. Hosting custom games for Valorant because we all shared that similar interest, right? I would have open invites. People would drop by the stream and be like, yo, can I join? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm down to meet new people as long as you're cool. There you go. Tournaments, people would sign up. Podcasts, friends would sign up. I would put it on my notes or stories that I'm going to like certain raves and events, and I would be like, yo, who's going? Like, you trying to meet up? You trying to group up? Whatever. Like, I'm totally cool with that as long as you're a good person. Yeah, so a lot of open invites or like the Bay Area Twitch meetups. I'd be like, all right, I know this person's in the Bay, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have something on this day. Feel free to come through. And yeah, just other things like the dating show, the game show, charity stream, like events, gaming, tons of stuff. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. And yes, no sharing secrets. Felix, have a great week, man. Thank you so much for dropping by. Appreciate you for the lurkies. Sleep well. Yeah, TwitchCon goers too. That's why when you guys see me like mentally prepare for events, whether if it's like TwitchCon or like raves, I make a list of like who I could expect to see, especially from Twitch, because I learned that a lot of people from Twitch have very similar interests, at least the ones that I'm close to. So yeah, a lot of open invites when it comes to like how I keep in touch with people. And let's see, what else? Talked about that. As long as you give me like a sense, or as long as I am able to know that I could like reach out to you, if you give me that vibe, then I tend to do so, especially if it's something that we could like relate to or something that you're interested in. Yeah. What's up, Ryan? What up, broskies? Hope all is well. Yeah, another good example is like Quiz, B Bacon, and Jericho. I feel like whenever I go to future events now, I would always like try to ask you guys if you're planning to go. But then there's also like an unspoken rule type of thing, not relative to events, but just like hangouts, where it's just like if you hit someone up and they constantly say no and they don't really reciprocate, or like if they're not the ones to initiate an invite, then I feel like that it would like dwindle down, just that openness to try to invite people. If you guys understand that logic, that's a real thing. Oh my god, Salita! What's up, Salita? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Hope all is well with y'all. Welcome to my stream. It is my chat with Wilson segment. I'm hosting my second, but technically third episode of like a live podcast stream. Just talking about random things in life that's relative to me, but in this case, we're talking about friendships. This is also gonna be on YouTube, and you guys can see the chat here. So feel free to say hi and everything. There's also that podcast command. Thank you, Jericho. Welcome in, everyone. Steve, have a wonderful night, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll talk to you later, broskies. I know it's late for you. But hi, Selena. Hi, everybody. Welcome in, Raiders. Saint, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I've missed you, Saint. Thank you so much for gifting Selena. How was your stream? Yo, Jay, welcome back. Eric, first time chatter, welcome in. John, Duke, Bo. Hello, guys. What's up, Bart? Bartman, first time chatter as well. Oh, Gil's here too. Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hi, Rice. Oh, Joseph is here too. What's up, everybody? Hope all is well. I'm confused, but Selena sent me here, so it's okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dovatronic. Welcome in. First time chatter as well. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed your weekend so far. It is getting pretty late on a Sunday night. Selena, I know you might have things to do, so feel free to lurk and do what you gotta do. Everyone else, if you gotta head to bed, thank you guys for dropping by with the raid. Gonna be rambling a lot about friendships, but we're getting close to the end right now. I just feel like this is a nice segment to just like chat it up. And yeah, again, this topic today is about friendships, and I'm just trying to like speak a lot about what's on my mind, and just to get better with like public speaking and just like sharing more about myself, especially before I start hitting people up to be special guests on this podcast segment. Yeah. Thank you, Saint. Thank you again. Bear Claw, welcome in too. Thank you so much for being a part of the raid. Yo, Joseph, thank you, my guy. Appreciate it. So we were talking about the, like, for me, how I do a lot of like open invites type of things, unless I get a sense of like I could hit you up to just like go out, whether if it's to an event or like one-on-one meetings or just group settings. But I do want to like note that for me, I'm personally better at conversating and just like putting myself out there in one-on-one settings. I guess it's just because it's more intimate and personal, and I like to ask questions too. Versus group settings. Like, I don't mind having group settings, and it's always fun to like see a lot of people. There's only like so much time in a day regardless. Especially if you don't like live within the same vicinity. So yeah, group settings definitely has like a different spotlight overall. And for me personally, I don't like being in the middle of the spotlight when it comes to group settings. So I just try to match the energy at least, and I'm just there. Pretty good. But yeah, one-on-one settings, perfectly fine with me. And that's why I think I could transform that into having these one-on-one segments with special guests. So using that like capability of mine, I feel like it would be really fun to do that. And Selena, stream's been good. Just been recapping what went down this past weekend and last week in general. And just breezing through another podcast episode, just trying to put more out there and just to be like more comfortable with everything. I've been like uninterested, I would say, in gaming as of lately, but we'll see. I definitely want to try Lethal Company, and I know a lot of people have moved on to the new game. I think, what was it, Pal World or something? So I don't know if you've tried it yet, but I feel like that's the new wave. Ooh, okay. And then I also mentioned that it is really hard, and I mean it, to keep in touch with so many people, because I've met so many amazing people within even like the last few years, like in person, even on social media and Twitch. So just connecting with people, like I've realized that certain people come and go, and that's okay, because everyone has like different things to focus on in their life, and you just might not be in this like on the same path with them. But going back to how I said that I appreciate the low maintenance relationships for myself, like it's totally fine, it's cool. by all means, as long as you're doing okay and I know that you're alive and well, then that's sick. And who knows, you could possibly reconnect in the future. And yeah, whether it's like streaming or just in person, because streaming is different. Like over time, it has changed for myself just because I haven't been as active, and I feel like I don't have as much time as I do anymore because like full time working, picking up new hobbies, and just like going out and everything. So streaming for me has been fun, and it's always nice to like have you guys come through and like to connect. But I just feel bad sometimes because I don't put in as much time anymore to like even have conversation in other people's chats. Like I know lurking's cool and people do appreciate it. But for me, like I feel like my own standard of just being like on Twitch has like really dwindled, and it does suck, but I'm still grateful to like have these friendships and to be able to still like know what people are up to. Like if I could see people are streaming, at least in my mind, I know like okay, they're doing well, they're doing their thing. Or again, social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Yes, all is well, Gil. I hope you've been doing well yourself, man. I haven't talked to you in a minute. Selena, I appreciate you as always. I remember you stopped by during the other pod I had. Joseph, I know you've been doing your fight nights, the streams. Wish we had more time. Also grateful that you're also in the area, so could keep in touch whenever. Could drag you to like future events. Nice hair. How long did it take you to dye it? Oh, thank you. So Hai actually helped me dye it this time. I did it last week and it was only like a couple of hours. Not too bad. Yes, Gilbert, super cool. A lot of homies I haven't talked to. I feel like it's been so many months. Maybe even like since like the last TwitchCon and meetup. The one before this previous year. Always down to go to shows. All right, next weekend. this weekend. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Joseph. But if you're down to go to Pier, go to old Pier again. That might be the move. Yeah. So keeping in touch with people is what we're talking about when it comes to friendships. It's hard, but I know it goes both ways for some people. Like people's lives change over time, and you might have like different things going on. So it's always nice to like leave off or just to like connect from where we last like left off. My words aren't like connecting really well right now, but it just means that if we ended off on a cool like high note, then we shall continue that and it'll be sick. Gone you man, welcome in. Thank you so much for being a part of the raid. Hope all is well. What people should know at least. Noted this down. Despite everything I said, I really do want people to know that I care. I do deeply care about like how my friends are doing. I might not be the best at showing it, but like it's almost like a love language, right? Some people just value different things more than others, but I just have my own unique ways of showing it. So just like what I talked about, like even showing my presence on like your feed and everything, and just trying to keep up with those, like making like the smallest comments, the chatters, stuff like that. Or like even in person, when I like talk to you, I generally try to like connect, even if it's like really, really brief, just to keep up and everything. But I hope that that message could like really does come across and like resonates with people that I do care about, like my friends. Like I could even like try to text people here and there, do like simple things. And another way of like showing it is like I feel like I'm the type of person, although I do like all these open invites and stuff, I'm usually always down to hang out. Like there are times where I've planned to just stay home or like not do anything. But then if someone hits me up to like game or to like talk or to just even go out like to make plans, Like I try to like set my schedule aside and just go for it. Like I really do prioritize people, and I feel like that's what keeps me going. Just again, things to look forward to, whether it's like events or just like hangouts. Like this 3 weeks ago, a good example is I was about to break my streak when it comes to going to an event every single weekend. So my current streak is I've been going to at least one EDM event per week since August of 2023. So that streak has already surpassed like half a year. And I was about to stop. It was game over. And I was totally fine with it. I was content with it. But then my friends like were just hit me up on Insta. They're like, yo, there's an event here tomorrow. You should go. And I was like, damn. Like, we're like new friends too, and we aren't like the closest or anything. But the fact that they thought about me and put in like the effort to like reach out, like it felt really nice to me. And I really appreciate it. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I can't say no. Like, I do want to get to know these guys and to like hang out and just like be out and about. And it was fun. It was cool. Can't stop the streak. I'm rooting for you the whole year. Okay, probably not. It's expensive. It really is. Well, who knows? I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna happen for sure. It's a possibility, but it's like a low possibility. Like thinking about the streak and everything. The day that it does end, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna like let people figure it out themselves or realize that nothing happened. My coworkers always remind me though, because they're always like, so what are you gonna do this week or the next week? And then I would just be like, yeah, I have something on Friday or Saturday. And they're like, I don't know how you do it. But that's another conversation. It's just funny with my coworkers because they have like a good extent of knowledge of like what I'm actually like outside of work. Yeah, different dynamic. Again, levels of friendships. A constant reminder that I want to say is that like yes, everyone has different values when it comes to friends and stuff, and it is a mental investment for sure. And I understand how it could be very, very draining to keep up with like friends and everything. But at least for me, just know I really do appreciate y'all. The time and effort that you guys put in like for this friendship, even like to stop by my streams, like that shows me a lot. Like that's so crazy cool. I've talked about it before how I'm at the point where I'm just like super and like forever grateful to be able to like click that start button and just to like have at least one person to talk to. As it is hard to like click on that button and to just actually start a stream sometimes. I don't know why, it's just that mental roadblock will always be there from time to time. Soul's just built different. Something like that. It's just a mental, it's the serotonin, the dopamine thing. It's like, man, I have something to do this week. I'm so excited. I'm ready to get through my day. Just knowing that it's getting closer and closer to that day. And I'm just keeping myself busy and just trying to fill in the gaps. So I constantly have something to look forward to. Even though it's physically taxing, more physical than mentally taxing, I'm good. I'm conditioned. I'm ready. And there's just many reasons for me to want to go to events. It's like so many people that I've met, so many people I could potentially meet, a lot of people that share similar interests that are willing to go and everything. I feel like Wilson's so extroverted. Oh yeah, I was talking about that earlier too, Selena. I was saying how I'm like an introverted extrovert. There's a lot of times where I just feel pretty shy, you know, and not as open. But I don't know. Maybe for events, it could be the liquid courage. Like that definitely helps. There's like it's also just the serotonin levels and matching people's energy. When I feel like I could just put myself out there, I just take initiative. You hang out with so many people. Yeah, and the social battery does get to me sometimes. But then it's like when there's like so many different people, there's just like a continuous excitement. And I try not to take it for granted too. Like And hearts to you, Jory. Countdown to Millennium. Yes, that's a great countdown, and that's so soon. I'd be dead mentally, and it's understandable because everyone's different. Liquid courage is the mood, blocks all the anxiety. Yeah, true. Especially like when I met you this weekend, Azora, like I was mentally prepared. I was like, yo, this is exciting. I get to finally meet this guy. I didn't even know that like it was you because we talked about it, and then to be able to meet you and to meet your friends too, they were super cool. They were like vibing. Like there's that level of excitement because it was like a first time and I don't see you as often. And like for example, Phantom, I'm super excited to meet him again at Millennium because I really do want to like at least go to an event together. Even if that's gonna be like a pre-gaming moment because we're at different areas, we'll save it. We'll save it for Beyond or something else. And then Jory, I've met you once. Thankfully, it was for your birthday event. Hopefully, you can meet again. Yeah, last one didn't count. Last one didn't count. Yeah, well, we're meeting for the first time again, and that's special to me just to meet my friends in person. There's so many different layers to it. Meeting people actually for the first time, or meeting people online first, then in person, or just like vice versa. And I'm a thank you. Yeah, streaming is not easy at times, and I give huge credits to those who, put in a lot of time and energy and effort into like streaming, because there's like different levels of like anxiety too you might have. For me, I don't think I have high anxiety or I don't feel as anxious, but I do have my own mental roadblocks because I just feel like I need to have a game plan when I get onto streams, get into like the streaming groove. GM, goals to meet you too. One day, my guy. So yeah, that's mentally the mental investments when it comes to streaming. Another important topic I want to go over, a very specific thing, is what should I say? Okay, yeah, TwitchCon. That might be it. I'm always down to go to TwitchCon just because of the people. At this point, for sure, just because of the people. I'm sacrificing my hopes and dreams of going to Lost Lands this year because I would rather go to TwitchCon for the people. Remember, you guys could chime in whenever you want, okay? Or just add your comments. Okay, this is another subtopic. Although it's like very different meeting people like in person or just like online, dynamics always different. For me, let's talk about being friends with guys versus girls. I think this is interesting to me, and I also want to ask you guys this. Because there's guys and girls here. Do you guys feel like it's easier to be friends with guys or girls? And why? You guys can answer that, and I'm curious to know what you guys have to say. For me, it's 100% easier to be friends with guys. And I'm not saying that I can't be friends with girls, because obviously I do have friends of, opposite sex. But it's just easier to connect. For me. Especially first like meeting type of thing. I get along way better and closer with girls. That's interesting. And why is that to you? For me, I feel like when it comes to like surface level, it's easier to connect with guys. But then once we like get past that level of comfort, more so for girls, I feel like it's easier to connect and be closer to girls. Or maybe it's because it feels like girls are more expressive and you could have like more deeper conversations. At least that's like me maybe like over generalizing it, but it's from my own experiences. There's like a different level of comfort when it comes to speaking to girls or just being close. And I'm talking about in a platonic sense. It's kind of same for me. I treat everyone the same, so if they tolerate my dumbass, it's okay. Okay. Valid. Surface level, easier with guys. Long runs, easier closer to girls. Okay, so you see it as that. But like, I talked about like that hierarchy, right? The different levels when you connect with people. I feel like I do have a decent or small amount of like girls that I'm really close to, like friends, compared to guys, but it's because like again, getting past that surface level is pretty hard. Maybe it's because of who I am, or it's just like the type of people that I've been meeting. But yeah, sometimes it just gets that surface level and never goes like from there. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just like what I've noticed. Yo, Yulun, what's up, my guy? Love the pull-up stories. Keep it up. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you've been well, broskies. And thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Just talking it up about friendships right now. Another thing, it's like I talk about events. For sure, I've noticed that events is so like easy and chill to connect with like dudes. I guess the raving scene is different. Online, it feels very balanced. Especially because I've been in that Valorant category niche, and then there's like a lot of mutual friends, which is like a open gateway to meet people, and it's pretty easy just like be online, you know? It's very different online versus in person. So in person, it's either through mutuals. If not through mutuals, then at these events, it's so much harder to talk to girls for me. Even like, of course, it's like all platonic, but I have that. I feel like I have that worry. I talked to Michelle about this even today, so it's pretty funny to like bring it back. Thanks for the shout outs, by the way, Michelle. That it's easier for me to talk to guys at events because I don't ever want, like, I don't even want a slight chance of a misconception that I'm trying to hit on like a girl, or like I'm trying to approach a girl in that sense. So that's why I tunnel vision a lot, and like I don't like, I probably avoid all eye contact, and I could just do my own thing, and then I could vibe with dudes. If there's a guy next to me, what's up, man? How's it going? Right? Easy. 1, 2, 3. Chat it up. Where are you from? How's like, what you up to? What do you have lined up? Oh, mind if I trade like, or like exchange Instagrams and stuff? Yeah. And then for girls, like if there's a girl next to me, I'm gonna be like, at most I'll be like, you doing good? Yeah, because I usually check on people like around me and stuff. But like I don't try to like make further conversation or anything unless there's like a mutual, or it's kind of like a gateway where maybe you talk to like a guy in the group and then you eventually talk to like the girls in the group, like something like that. It's just very different. But there is a level of comfort. Very hard to go beyond surface level with girls because they can feel, there can be feelings and a bunch of other crap. True. I feel like if I ever talk to a girl at an event, they think I'm hitting. Okay, so you were that's exactly what I was thinking. We were sharing the same thoughts. I just read your message right now, Phantom. I understand this feeling. Jory, who do you feel like, or do you feel like you connect better with girls or guys? Ankle biter. What's up, Derpy? Hi, Derpy. I'd want him to make a move. Yes, I will say what's up, and then give you a big old hug, and we could take a selfie and then get some good food. Bam. In the girl's defense, I'd probably feel the exact same way, so I completely understand why they think or feel like that. Yeah, I agree. 100%, because we've talked about it, like at events, like shit could go down and there could be like a lot of beeps and everything. It really depends on the approach. But then I don't take initiative for like the most part. And it's not even just at events either. It's also like I don't know, it's just like guys and girls in general, even like online. I feel like I just have this this wall, or like there's like a guard up for myself at all times. I'm like extremely cautious and like really aware of what, like, of my actions. So I don't want like to have any misconceptions, or I just don't want to give the wrong impression, stuff like that. And again, it probably does have a lot to do with like feelings and everything of what could be, or like what people might think. But who knows, maybe like if you don't care as much, then it wouldn't be like such a big problem or anything. but I feel like I just have that wall. And where I'm going with this is like I ask people this, or I've been meaning to ask people this. I have an idea of what a majority of you guys would say. But if there's girls, right? If there's girls, I would also like to hear your opinions too. Michelle, I would like to ask for your thoughts about this, like your honest thoughts, because we're closer now, for sure. But my question would be, am I approachable? So that's like the first part of the question. But two, am I easy to talk to, or like what do people like actually think about me? Because I've heard, for example, that I'm not gonna say who, but it's a she. She said that I'm like a really like cool person, and a lot of people like me and everything, right? In the community, like they think I'm like great, and I really appreciate that. But they said that I am not an easy person to read, and it's hard to approach me, or to like talk to me, or to like get to know me. And maybe it is because I do have some sort of barrier that I just don't know of, or maybe that I just give off this energy that I'm approachable but not approachable. Like I'm for the people, but like people can't get to know me for some reason because of like some barrier. I'm also too shy to talk to girls, so it works out fine. That can't be true. Come on now. Come on now. I don't know about approachable because I've only met you once in person, but you're pretty easy to talk to and get to know. Thank you. Thank you. That's feedback right there. Yo, pro, what's up, pro? I'm more shy. Hey, you won't be shy at EDC this year. Hope you go. See what I did there? Okay, I'll stop bringing it up, but I hope you've been well. Like on the real. So yeah, we could maybe we'll figure that out in the future, and I'll probably get more people's perspectives. I'll probably ask like other friends. At first it was hard talking to you because I didn't know to talk to you. Like you didn't know how to talk to me, or what do you mean? I'll take this ticket I have saved for a girl and give it to you. Oh, real one right there. But yeah, it was just very interesting because I've also heard it more than once from like different people. I didn't know how to talk to you. So you didn't know how to like say things, or like let words come out of your mouth to verbally speak to me, right? No, or you just didn't know like how I was in person. I probably understand. Maybe it's just hard to like take initiation to chat it up with me. You seemed pretty approachable when I randomly showed up, and you have no idea what I look like. Yeah. I mean, like I expected to like meet you and everything. So in person, like I try to keep that same energy in person. I feel like a lot of people are comfortable talking to me on a like surface level, for sure, like even on Twitch and everything, but then it's like they might not have that reason or a reason at all to try to get to know me more, or to have like personal like conversations and everything. So I'm just always curious as to know why. Like it's not like an obligation or anything, but when I hear from people that I don't seem as approachable or anything, or I just feel very like seem very mysterious, it's like eye-opening. As we started going to events, I find out you're weird like me. Okay, we take those. Thanks. You are definitely such a Rizzler. You're a sunshine Rizzler, and I'm just weird. I feel like it's more of how comfortable how you are with them, and you don't know what kind of things you can say. Yeah, I guess so. It definitely has to do with like how close you are and stuff. But then again, I talked about how a lot of like friendships stay at that surface level, but it just means that there's no reason for it to like develop. I think it's hard approaching anyone unless that person does very inviting actions, to be honest. That's a good point. That is a really, really, really good point. And I think that has to do with like my own personal wall and guard because of what I talked about, how I don't want to give off like the wrong impression, or I don't want to like, yeah, just have any percent or a possibility of like those negative doubts or just thoughts, such as like those raves, like being at raves, like how I just tunnel vision and I just don't focus like on like girls as much as guys. Yeah, finding out people is weird is a good thing because then I can be with them. Yeah, just imagine introducing yourself to be like someone just to like break the ice right from the instant. Just be like, yo, nice to meet you. I am weird as fuck. I hope you know that. And I hope that it'll be cool. Not the best example, but I get it. So yeah, probably will dive deep into that more so in the future just to hear other people's thoughts. I'll definitely ask I'll ask the people that I have on as special guests with this Chat with Wilson segment. We talked about how people come and go, and it's just that's what happens in life and stuff. Have you guys ever felt like you've lost touch with people, or maybe like lost like close friends or anything, or just felt disconnected? Maybe had like an old best friend and just like no longer talk? Because I feel like that always happens. For me, a lot of it has happened, but it's like no love lost, and it's always because of it's like different paths in life. Like people just go on their own paths, and you might not talk, and there might not be a reason to talk. But again, that's why it's very special to just be able to pick up where we left off in those friendships. The Rave Talk Millennium. And another thing to talk about is maybe icks. Maybe each person might have, well, each person does have something that they like and dislike about people to kind of navigate where they are or how close you could potentially be. So, like, what are these icks you guys might have? For me, I'm going based on personal experiences and what I've like seen, right? I think for me, some icks would be like those who like to start drama for no reason, or those who just kind of talk smack about like other people, especially when they're in the same friend group. That's like so wild to me. Like, you could call it like being two-faced and everything, but that happens. Like that, there's people that are like that for whatever reason. People can change. That's like whole other topic. But that's one of my icks. Plus, as friends, I never really lose because we can hang out once every 1 to 3 months and we can pick up where we left off and just update each other about our lives. Yeah, I appreciate those type of friendships, and that's the same for me too. And a lot of times, no, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but in the past, I've definitely felt like I've been like left out, or I felt like an odd one out in different friend groups, and I've learned over time to get out of those type of like situations and just groups in general. So it's more so for, like, for the best. And I don't know, it's just like a really awkward feeling when you're just there. Yeah, when you're there and you just don't feel comfortable or as close, and you don't feel like you could connect to like certain people. And it might be because you just, like we talked about, change. Like you could change over time, and the dynamic is just not something that you're cool with anymore. That could be a reason. It's like comparing it to games. You could get tired of it for whatever reason. You just want to move on. Cause I know there's like a saying where a good show of character of who you are could be based on like the people you surround yourself with. So for me, I feel like I'm in a lot of like I feel like I've always been a floater with like a lot of different circles. I don't want to be like tied down to one specific group or anything. I just like connecting with so many different people. Like we could be close individually and we could hang out in different groups, but that's just how I've been like rolling with it. And that's why like I take pride and it's just more fun and exciting for me to meet people and then introduce people to each other just to have like a huge open circle and then whoever could connect is like super cool within that. I had a really weird friend dynamic where I never hung out with them in person and only on Discord because I spent all my time with my ex. Oh, okay. Yeah, so just I mean that's like online friends, like Twitch too, if anything. It's understandable. Like especially during the COVID years and how a lot of people are just constantly meeting people online. It's a whole different realm when you're in the like the social media world. And then maybe yeah, you are just friends with certain people because of who your partner is or who that mutual is. Other icks we're talking about is definitely like just lack of communication. And ooh, one thing is like because I've talked about the different levels of friendships, have you guys ever had those moments where you just bumped into someone that you've known before? Like maybe like a high school friend or anything, right? I feel like to me at this point in my life, if like it's been years or whatnot and you see someone, like that's like so shitty when you just ignore each other and you just like don't say anything. For me, that feels shitty. Like I would at least try to say hi and what's up. We don't have to be best friends on the spot and we don't have to like catch up on life or anything. Like that might be forcing it, right? But for me, I could be like, "Yo, what's up? Like hope you've been well. It's good seeing you." And then just move on from that. But like yeah, I totally understand it. Like if you just feel awkward and you just can't do that. Like half of me, it feels like it just rubs me the wrong way. Cause to me, I'd be like, oh, it's like that. Okay, so we weren't like close enough at any point of time to be able to like have a friendly greeting or anything. But yeah, again, this comes down to the level of friendship that you have with people. Yeah, so like Cherry, if I see Cherry like we don't talk for like 5 years and I see you like at the superstore or like a random store and you don't say anything to me, then yeah, I'll be like, yeah, fuck Cherry, that's messed up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I'm using you as an example just because like this perfect timing. I do have work tomorrow, but it's okay. I'll be good. I'll be good. We're wrapping it up soon. What's up, Cherry? Hope you got some good rest. It's jokes. It's jokes. We're talking about like icks and how it would be if you were to like come across an old friend that would like what would your actions be, right? It depends on the person and the type of relationship you've had. Like would you avoid them? Would you greet them? Yeah. If you see them at the gym though, you have to force yourself to go say hi or it gets exponentially worse. Oh my god, that is so real. That is a perfect example. That has happened. I went to the gym. Um, I saw a friend that I haven't seen in 10 years, and he said, "What's up?" He was like, "You're Wilson, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then said, "What's up?" He's like, "Oh, I forgot what year you graduated, blah, blah, blah." And then we just like caught up. And we were like literally next to each other, like the next bench over and everything. And it was like, Yeah, hope you've been well, looking good, going to the gym and everything. Yeah, it wasn't too awkward, like I must say. Like we made the best of that situation. I try to say hi because for me, I'm always the one reaching out. Oh yeah, I mentioned that too. Like if you're the one that's putting in a lot of effort, like it becomes one-sided, then that's pretty tough. Like at some point you just have to stop and see if they reciprocate or if they would be like if they would reach out. But then sometimes they might not be that type of person, and if you know that, then that's like a different case, like different scenario. Tasty paw, yeah. Luckily, no one recognizes me anymore because I got LASIK and don't wear glasses. Oh, that might be a huge change then. But I'm sure you would recognize people if you like still keep in touch with them on social media. And then there's another scenario at the gym though. Oh my god, that's like it's a current thing too. Oh, someone forgot about you. We're in high school together in the same class. It's just because they like moved on with their lives and they just don't think back sometimes, and your memory just fades, and that's totally understandable. For me, I think where I'm at right now at my current gym, there's I swear I told two this that there's a 95% chance that this girl who's at the gym is someone that I went to high school with. But then I told you guys that I tunnel vision and I try not to like really focus, and I just can't tell cuz someone could look different like 10 years from now or so, and I just can't tell if it's the same person. But I'm like 95% sure. And we still haven't said anything to each other, and I feel like there's no reason to, so it's okay. So it's not awkward as much. Tasty pot. Yeah. Next meetup, Tasty Pot. See you guys there. Speaking of, do you guys cleanse your social media and remove a bunch of people you don't talk to anymore? Ooh, great question. For me, no. Not anymore. I did so way back then during high school and college because I was weird like that. Okay, no offense though. Like, I'm not saying you're weird, but I'm a different type of weird. Suihani, hope all is well. Welcome in. How's the tourney and everything? What's up? What's up? We got talks about friendships right now. For me, I don't think I would just delete anyone or remove anyone, cuz I feel like if we had even like one moment to connect, or like one small like great conversation, it would be cool just to like be friends, and then who knows, maybe down the line we'll connect better. But then there's circumstances where I've realized that people have like removed me from their like friends list and all that stuff. And I've talked about it. I'm just like, damn, like it is what it is. Like sometimes you just don't expect it, but you come to realize that people just not everyone's gonna be your friend or can be your friend. So yeah. What's up, Steve? Hello, my silver haired Ekiton. What the? How's it going, buddy? Let's get to my team on first round, so we're off to the quarterfinals. Oh yeah, it's a 2-week event, right? So you guys are continuing. Congrats. I hope you performed well and that you've enjoyed your like team chemistry and everything. You got some crack gamer like teammates too. Okay, that's fair. What about people who you knew of or saw in school that you know their name but never talked to? This is where I didn't say the second side. Okay, so I don't do this anymore, but for some reason back then, I don't cleanse either. Okay, I was very fixated on my like on the specific numbers. So you know how back then, before Instagram and Twitter, people use Facebook, and even before then, people use MySpace. I'm not gonna talk about MySpace or even Tumblr because I didn't really use those as much. I was like very late, at least for my years of using all that. So yeah, whatever. So Facebook was like the main thing, right? For me, for some reason, I liked to cap myself at 500 friends. So every time I would go over 500 friends, I would open up my friend list and find someone to remove. So I did that every single time. And then I eventually stopped doing that, like maybe midway through college or something. Wilson, when's the WCG podcast next episode? Is that like Wilson Chang gang? What is that? That sounds like a pain. Yeah, I was dedicated. You know, when I set my mind to something, especially weird, I did that. Jack Frost Gojo looking. Oh, thanks. Love being carried by Immortal 2, 3, and Radiant teammates. What the? You're the real carry though. Team Spirit, right? And I know that you've been practicing too, so you gotta give yourself some credit. How are you feeling though now after playing some Val? I follow Wilson on Twitch because he went to my high school. That's the only reason? Ain't no way. Interesting. Yeah, so we talked about how like people could avoid you, just unfriend you and all that. Just like random icks and everything. Yeah, not the worst. What the? Nick, you changed your name? What's up, man? Hope all is well with you. Me in the background? Yeah, vibing, supporting your teammates. What was the inspiration behind the name? I was like, oh yeah, he went to my high school. Let me support him. You know what? The thought counts. Like, it's still very weird for me at this point to realize that there are people that just don't talk to me like in my chats and stuff, but are supporting me behind the scenes. Like sometimes I forget that. Like I've gotten so accustomed to like how things are or have been on like Twitch for me that I've come to that realization. Cause then every so often I would see someone that I haven't seen in a while, and then they would be like, yeah, I really enjoy your streams and it's like all that blah blah blah, and I had no realization that they've ever seen me stream or didn't like ever knew that I streamed. So those moments like that have been like super cool, like surreal. Yeah, I don't talk to you. Okay. But you're so sweet, Steve. You always know the right words to say. I just thought I hate when people gatekeep stuff. Like what, for example? Jericho, have a good one. Sleep well, broskies. Appreciate you. I'm also gonna head out soon. We're getting to the very tail end of it. Yeah, closing off on friendships. I definitely went pretty long with this, but it's all good. Ultra instinct looking ass is crazy. Yeah, but if you want to talk more so about the icks, feel free to do so. Yeah, you can talk about pet peeves and icks. I don't think I have other like great pet peeves or icks. Maybe like for close friends, I would really appreciate it if people don't like reveal secrets or just like specific private information, especially if I like confide in you. Even in a joking manner, it's to me it's very disrespectful. Like I understand if it could slip out, but if it does slip out, then it just shows that you're not trustworthy in that aspect to know the information. But then if it's like if people use certain information against you, that bugs me. Like even if it's for banter, but then I don't banter much, so I don't think there's like a one-sided banter type of thing. I think that would be more so called bullying. So two people in my friend group always talk about stuff and then sometimes do things together. They just kind of gatekeep it. Oh my god, I know what you're talking about. I understand that. Okay. I usually just ask them like what they did or what they're talking about just because I want to know, but they're like secret about it. It's kind of annoying. I get it. I feel like that's common because that's why for me I mentioned how I don't like being in like any specific circle, like closed groups, because that's bound to happen. Some people just feel closer to other people, and if it's like a huge group, it's bound to have smaller circles within the group. And it's for whatever reason. And if that's the case, then it just shows that maybe you guys aren't as close and you just have to accept that reality. or you might just have to communicate better and just further develop that friendship to get to that point where you could openly speak to each other about like more secretive things. How do you feel about friends that don't talk to you for a while and only talk to you when they need something? That has definitely happened, and I'm sure that happens to quite a lot of people. I think it depends on the type of relationship we've had, like where we left off, or what kind of impact they've had like on my life. This is for me specifically. But I feel like you could at some point you could definitely tell if it's like with good intentions, or if you're able to feel like you're not being used, then you could definitely like help them out or something. By all means, like you're your own person and it's up to you at the end of the day. So I know like some people might be more empathetic, and again, it is very situational. Yeah. What's up, Preston? Hope all is well. Got a chat with Wilson segment right now about friendships. Wobbleland was super fun. Talked about that earlier. It was pretty hectic, especially day one because of all the rhythm. But it was super lit, especially at Bill Graham's. Always fun there. And then like all those back-to-back sets at the end of the night for day two was so good. It was too good. So I had like way more energy and everything for that. What do you have next for yourself? I was surprised you didn't go, by the way. I feel like that would have been a fun event for you. Because I remember seeing it at Jessica Audrefrid, and then the fact that she played, and then 3 other amazing artists played, it was like sick. But yeah, that's a good question to bring up, Cherry. And then Phantom, your example. Yep. I've been working hell I wanted to. Oh, I understand. Priorities. And then you just gotta save for the next one, right? Gotta find that work-life balance, I understand. And Beyond would be sick. I feel like that's the move. And Ultra's wild if you decide to travel that far. I'm sure. Well, that lineup is crazy good though, and expensive. I was at the mall all day walking around. Yeah, we're still recovering from the rave this past weekend, so just rest up and then get back to the grind because I know you're also gymming, Cherry. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the pet peeves. A lot of situational things. And just to wrap that part up, it's just like if you're a friend, just for me at least, like if you consider me as a friend or anything, or if you see me, just feel free to like be friendly, greet me. If not, it's whatever. Small talk is not needed, but you could just say what's up. And just other pet peeves. I think some people know. I don't really like mention it anymore because it's like, again, another situational thing. It's like I don't really like being like touched or hit, because that has happened before, and it depends on the context of what goes down. We'll see. Donna, what's up, Drew? Hey, Drew, see you this weekend, man. Have a good one. My back and neck never hurt this much before. Yo, you had fun. Communication is key. One of the great values that we talked about earlier. You are my best friend stream. Uwu. Wait, what? Are you talking about me or someone else? Best friend stream? True, it's Huang. Huang's this weekend. Alright. Very last segment. And it's perfect because it's almost 12 a.m. So I'll be fine. I'll be good, guys. Best friend streamer? We take those. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hella uwu. Yes, I will see your uwu ass this weekend when you decide to go with us to Huang. Wilson's my favorite to watch, not gonna lie. Hey, don't tell other people that. You don't have to say that. It's the thought that counts. 100% Rice Purity score Drew Spacito Pouch Bandit. Yep. Alright. Maybe not. Okay. What did I mention here? With friendships, let's see, for me. Right now, I'm at a point where I'm definitely trying to live my best life with all my friends and everything. So I'm sure you guys know that. That's why I'm chronically online and I'm posting so much shit about my life. Maybe more than I should, but it's okay because a lot of it is for people to know that I'm doing well, I guess. But then at the same time, there's downsides because I feel like people think I'm a party animal, and that might not be the best outlook. I mean, I just go with the vibes, but I wouldn't say I'm a party animal, right? And then, yeah, I'm chronically online for that reason because I'm definitely trying to build my online presence, but it's not to the extent of wanting fame, but it's just wanting to connect with more people. I feel like there's a fine line between that. And also, I do feel like, not just for me, but like it's very easy to feel alone, even when you're very active online and when you could have so many friends and everything, but you just don't know what people are going through deep down. So I think that's a very important thing to note. And I feel like that's like good to talk about. Just to like be very transparent and open. So very, very easy to feel alone. For me, I'm very fortunate, but then there's just times where I just feel lost. And that's just like when it comes down to overthinking. Maybe it's just like post rave and like event depression. I want to talk about friendships and relationships on podcasts. You definitely can. I will hit you up, no worries. Definitely want to hit people up for future podcasts. Party Animal ABB. See, like, if you guys didn't know me super well, if I actually gave off that image, that kills me. I hope not. I hope that people have gotten a chance to at least get to know me, even if we had very small conversations, to know that like I'm not crazy to that extent at least. But yeah, chronically online for sure. Having that presence, feeling alone, important things, and again, trying to live my best life and do everything. I think I'm at that point in life where I just don't want to have any regrets and I don't want to shy away. I want to be able to stay true to myself and while being in the process of learning about myself. Growth, guys, character development. You're your own protagonist. So live it up and yeah, I think that message be yourself is so real. Just be your real authentic self. You can only know so much about someone from online, and being online is mostly what you want people to see anyways, or it's just not like everything that defines you. But for me, I just want to be more open and to show who I am online, because that versus being in person, like having that connection in person, like I feel like as long as that's a constant and people see that there's no significant difference, then I take that as a compliment. I take pride in that at least. And I think that's a good place to stop. I don't want to go super long with this episode with Chat with Wilson, episode 2, with the topic about friendship from my own experiences and my own thoughts. Huge shout outs to you guys for tuning in to this stream, this live stream. It was very impromptu once again, and it will also be on YouTube for those who have missed it, or even if you're seeing this on YouTube, thanks for being here and for listening to my own little head talk, you should say. But that's a wrap for this one. Stay tuned for episode 3. Episode 3 is where I will finally have a special guest. I don't know if this guest has announced it. I hope not, but it's okay because there's no like privacy type of thing, or it's not like a huge surprise. But be on the lookout, guys. This Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'm gonna try to set a schedule so I'm very consistent with streaming and just having this podcast out there. This is my baby right now, my niche that I want to really dive into again, but rebranded, of course. So thanks again for chatting with Wilson tonight on a Sunday night, Monday morning. Much love to y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.